Hello? Hello?
Well, somebody's gonna read a Pasha though. Denise is. Yeah, Denise is reading a Pasha. So maybe you want both of them working.
Yeah, everything is on right now. Um, should I lower this? Who's gonna come up?
Me.
Okay.
I'm not your call.
Right there? You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, if they count us ladies, we they gotta count us. We haven't made it. Yep. Stands up. So. Nobody just came in. Oh, the family just came in.
And the cheering squad.
There's
The
I don't take cards. You know what the wave is?
What?
The wave. You do it at sporting events. Everybody. So it looks like it's going like a wave.
okay.
They do it at sporting events.
I think Harry is
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I need to get over his boyfriend. Oh, water gun.
Ask him to show you the wave fun.
My mom. No, because
Oh. There should be cookies talking about.
Hine, Matov, Uma, Naim, Sheverachim, Sheverachim, Gam Yachad. Hine, Matov, Uma, Naim, Sheverachim, Sheverachim, Gam Yachad. Hine, Matov, Uma, Naim, Sheverachim, Gam Yachad. Hine, Matov, Umanaim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine matov umanaim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine matov umanaim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine matov, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine matov, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine matov umanaim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. As we turn to our Mishkan Tefillah and the satellite Siddur, we turn to pages 124 and page 1, and we read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. Shabbat Shalom. With all of the darkness of this week, we set that aside and welcome Shabbat. Easier said than done, so we have a good 30, 40 minutes to be able to pull that off. So we turn to page 120 to join in with all of the specialness, all of the spirit of Shabbat, and we welcome S.D. Cartman as we turn to page 120 for the candle blessing.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Let's all read together. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlit ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat. Thank you, Esty. And we turn to page 125 and stay on page 1 for Satellite Siddur. And you all will join me for the bottom 2 paragraphs. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. May these Shabbat hours of rest and renewal now begun open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise for us all. We continue together on page 142 and page 2 with Shalom Aleichem. And I must say, for those of you who were here last week, I kind of checked out at this point, but I did get to just hear you all do Shalom Aleichem. If we weren't streaming, I would keep myself quiet. You all did such a beautifully moving job with Shalom Aleichem. I hate taking that away, but we'll try and keep that same just beautiful spirit. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashait, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barhuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On pages 144 and 2, we continue with the Chatzi Kaddish responsively, followed immediately with the Baruch Hu, which is also responsive. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דיברך יראותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתענן ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו amen. And we rise for our responsive Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. We continue on page 149 and page 3. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Together, creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. And to your beautiful English reading, I seal, Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. We continue on page 150. Together, everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. And again, I seal your words. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. The first line we chanted, we do loudly because it comes right from the Torah. The second line was added centuries later by our sages, and because as we turn the page, we continue back to the Torah, we do it full voice with Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם. בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohechem. And again, I seal the last two words of what you just chanted, and then you will fortify it by saying, in truth, Emet. Adonai Elohechem, Emet. We continue on page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way, the 40-year way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there together except by joining hands and marching together. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai la lai, yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai, yai lai la lai 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 la lai, yai la lai lai yai lai lai la lai. Mi chamoch ba'elim Adonai, mi kamoch nada b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele. Nora tehilot osefele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, boki yom lefnei Moshe, ze'eli anu ve'amru, ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugyalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai la lai, yai la lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. And in Mishkan Tefillah, middle of page 161, and in Satellite Siddur, page 6, together. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim Ata Adonai Haborei Sukkah Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. And in Mishkan Tefillah, we flip the page to 162. And Satellite Siddur, we stay on page 6 for Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Bini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vayom hashvi shavad vaynafash shavad vaynafash shavad vaynafash v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat dorotam berit olam. We have come to the core of our worship service, called prayer, tefillah. Depending on one's background, this could be done silently, it could be out loud, it could be a mix. Everybody comes from a different background, so we're going to do it silently, and you may do it out loud as much as you want, but to yourself. And we rise for pages 164 or page 7. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. We are Jews, but each of us is unique. We stand apart and alone, with differing feelings and insights, and yet we are not entirely alone and separate, for we are children of one people and one heritage, and we are one in search of life's meaning. All of us know despair and exaltation. All bear burdens. All have moments of weakness and times of strength. All sing songs of sorrow and love. In the circle of hope, in the presence of the sacred, may the heart come to know itself and its best, finding a fresh impulse to love the good. May our celebration lead us to work for the good, and may this Shabbat give strength to us and all our people Israel. And let us say, Amen. Unfortunately, there are many of us in need of healing. Healing of body, healing of mind, healing in spirit. Here, Israel, Texas, everywhere, suffering. We've been asked, especially, to offer up prayers for our congregation members, Leah Jacobson, Joan Thompson, Bert Thompson, Bert Posner, Roberta Schwartz, Jane Barron, Joanne Blau, Shirley Posner, Larry Satcher, Tony Pinto, Beth Pavlo, Stephen Roberts, Herb Wallach, Carol Gross, and to our extended family, to Laura Bat Shira, Ron Dwaron, Robert D'Onofrio, John Vernon, Chala Monasterio, Julie Fitzgerald, Susan Donahue, Margaret Gallivan, Pamela Michelle, Gary Singer, Marianne Mulligan, Peter Giori, Linda Gagnon, Christy Raymond, Tom Malata, Brandon Ben-Sharon, Roger Andrzejewski, Teddy Emerson, Steve Duchman, Rosa Footlick, Barbara Kretschmar, Jay Orumland, Mary Finnisand, Pete Karachi, Henry Berner, Bill Cousin, Denise Sparks, Lenora Savannah, Debbie Jarris. Any other names you'd like to have added now? Anyone else? Okay. Then we turn to the middle of page 371 in Mishkan Tefillah, and page 9 in the Satellite Siddur, and join in Debbie Friedman's setting of Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor habracha leimotenu Avotenu, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And as we turn to pages 123 and page 10, we invite our president, Stan Alliker, to come up and lead us in the Kiddush. And we rise.
This seventh day is consecrated to the eternal God. On Shabbat, eternal sign of creation, we remember that we are created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving. Let us read together at the top of the page. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagofen. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, Sovereign of the universe, Creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagofen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila l'mikra'i kodesh, zecher l'tziad Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'achata v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. If we say a blessing, Amen is not necessary. I'm saying I agree with myself. So if I don't say the Kiddush, then I need to say Amen. If I say the Kiddush, I don't say Amen. Just like the Motzi, if I recite the Motzi, that's why I sneak in the B'tei Avon before we get tripped up on Amen, because if we say the Motzi, unless we're schizophrenic, we don't need to say I agree with myself. Okay. And if you would continue with the Motzi, we would appreciate it as we join in. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Sneak in, B'tei Avon. Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila ben Ismacha. Hava nagila, hava nagila, hava nagila benismecha. Hava niranana, hava niranana, hava niranana benismecha. Hava niranana, hava niranana, hava niranana benismecha. Urachim, urachim b'lev sameach, urachim b'lev sameach, urachim b'lev sameach, urachim b'lev sameach, urachim b'lev sameach. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Tonight's parasha, Balak, will be shared with us and especially appreciated by the Rooting Gallery from Homebound, Denise Schwartzman.
After those beautiful prayers of peace and love, my parasha perhaps should come with a trigger warning, but I don't believe in trigger warnings, so I'm not giving you one. This parasha is the story of Barak, Balaam, and the donkey. Story we all know. But the story has an inauspicious and ominous beginning. The Israelites are camped on the outskirts of the plains of Moab. Balak, the king of the Moabites, is frightened because he knows what happened to the Amorites. You know that portion. The Israelites were directed to conquer the Amorites and kill everything that breathes. Balak had every reason to be frightened. Thus far, the story is not uplifting. And it's actually painful in the 21st century to read this portion and think about it with a 21st century head. We see the tale of a foreign army poised to invade and conquer another country and then occupy that territory. To what ends or extremes will the Israelites go in their conquest? Will the Moabites suffer the same fate as the Amorites? Balak has every reason to be frightened. And as his story unfolds, I pictured the Russians camped on the border of Ukraine. It keeps happening, and it ain't great. It's interesting to me that this story also calls up some sort of resonance to the epithets of genocide and settler colonialism, the twin tent poles of the encampments at our elite universities. These twin tent posts in anti-Israel and anti-Semitic encampments consumed our universities last year. Although, if I may digress, it does seem to me that genocide is only a crime when the victims aren't Jews. And displacement doesn't count if it's Jews that are being displaced. But as I said, I digress. Maybe just for a moment tonight, in the context of our prayers of love and peace, I should put aside my habitual cynicism and look for another meaning in this story. Taking this new approach and not judging the story as it continues with 21st century's eyes, but looking instead for a hidden mystery in the Torah. Looking for the hidden mysteries and miracles of the Torah is the approach that's taken by a pious, simple Hasidic rabbi who was the center of a wonderful book I just read, In My Father's Court by Isaac Bashevis Singer. And to give our friend Sandra a plug, it's on our book club list next year. If you have not read it, I strongly suggest that you do. But again, I digress. Returning to the story of the book of Numbers, the story of Balak, Balaam, and the donkey, and trying to mirror the thought process of that Hasidic rabbi just a little bit. To recap, Balak hired Balaam, who is a sorcerer and a prophet, which means as a sorcerer, by definition, he's a non-Jew, to curse the Israelites, who are the people who came out of Egypt and are now massed on Moab's border. The Israelites here are on their way out of Egypt to the promised land. But Balaam the prophet, heard what he believed to be the voice of God, telling him not to curse the Israelites. And so he wavers in his task for the king. He refuses to curse the Israelites, even after he's offered great riches. Balaam takes a wait-and-see attitude, or attitude, as they say in the town where I grew up. Oh, Beth is laughing. Awaiting word from the Lord. But the word to Balaam came in a very strange way. While he was waiting, Balaam rode his donkey towards the Moabite princes. Why was he going there? It doesn't say. Was he going to do the king's bidding? Was he hedging his bets? The Torah portion doesn't tell us. We are told that an angel of the Lord carrying a sword appeared in front of Balaam and blocked his way, so Balaam could not approach the Israelites and curse them. But Balaam doesn't see the angel. The donkey does. She turns aside and refuses to go forward. In fact, she goes into a field and crushes Balaam's foot against a wall, and then she falls down under him. Balaam beats the donkey 3 times for refusing to go forward. Then, as unbelievable as this sounds, the donkey speaks to Balaam. She asks, "Why did you beat me 3 times?" She reminds Balaam that she has always been a good donkey and admonishes Balaam that he should not beat her. What is this? Shakespearean comic relief in the Torah? A talking donkey? Or maybe it's just another mystery. Because then, after the donkey speaks, Balaam, through the will of the Lord, is able to see the angel. And Balaam is immediately humbled and repentant. The angel tells Balaam, if the donkey had not turned you away, I would have used my sword and killed you. Finally, the angel lets Balaam go forward, but only to speak words of blessing for the Israelites. What is the message in this story? How are we to understand the mystery hidden in the tale of the sorcerer's blocked path and a talking donkey? Is it a tale of God's protection for his people, Israel? Is it a tale teaching that God can communicate with us even through the humblest of creatures? Is it a reminder that speech and prophecy are gifts from God, and God can give these gifts to any creature, even a donkey? Maybe there's another mystery in there hidden entirely. I don't know. You ponder and decide. It is interesting to note here that donkeys occupy a special place in God's kingdom. Even though they are not kosher, The firstborn male must be redeemed according to the laws of the book of Exodus. Why? Perhaps, as some sages reason, because the Israelites carried their possessions out of Egypt on donkeys, or perhaps to teach us the worth of all creatures. The Talmud does not state why the donkey should be redeemed. It just says it is a divine edict. And maybe that's the story, that sometimes there are divine edicts. I don't know. You decide. You ponder. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Greetings, my board of directors, and a few announcements. I welcome visitors worshiping with us tonight and invite you to stay on hand for the Oneg Shabbat following services. Tonight's Oneg was coordinated by Mary Pinto, Sandra Heckler, Barbara Holtz, and Lynn Wilk. Current details of everything going on in congregational life can be found on our website, in our monthly newsletter of The Messenger, and in the semi-weekly email notifications we send out to membership. Tonight, I remind everyone, the office will be working on the high holidays honors, which will be mailed out in August. The Chess Club meeting here at JCMI every Tuesday at 9:30. Please contact Irv Pavlo if you're interested. JCMI has Pony Canasta every Thursday at 12 p.m. here at JCMI. Contact Beth Weinberg via email. The Women's Book Club flyer is around the building and on our website for the next month, for the next season, so you can start your reading during the summer. The office is selling Memorial Yahrzeit candles if you have a need. Do not forget to bring in food for those in the community less fortunate when you come on Fridays, or leave a donation in the tzedakah box. And now, as we move to the conclusion of our tonight's service, I invite you to the beam our final honorees, Beth and Irv. Let us please reopen our prayer books to page 586 and rise together for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me. Your laugh once lifted me. Your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. Recently, we have lost Kennedy Ann Jacobs, the all too many victims of the Texas floods, Morton Schlossberg, Joseph Francis were in the Shloshim for former member Ted Bunton, and yard sites for Arthur J. Barkhouse Jr., Rose Blau, Helen Cohen, Gertrude Goldstein, Sylvia Horowitz, Pearl Jeskine, Paula Cantor, Kay Marie Cartman, Pauline Katz, W.A. Ottinger, Abraham B. Sakes, Norman Sandberg, Michael Swinford, Molly Turiel, Aaron Weisberg. Are there any other names you would like added tonight? Then we turn to page 598 and page 5 for the Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba ve'alma divrach yireute ve'amlich malchute v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach le'alam u'l'almei almaya Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadad, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbichata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma ve'imru, amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. To conclude, please be seated. To conclude this evening's service, we turn to page 625 in Mishkan Tefillah, page 12 in the satellite Siddur, and join in the traditional setting of Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa V'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Imloch Nora V'hu haya, v'hu hobe, v'hu yiyeh b'tif'ara, v'hu echad ve'ein sheni, lehamshilo, lehachbira, b'li reshit, b'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra v'hu eli v'chai goli v'tzor chevli v'etzara v'hu nisi u'manos li menat kosi b'yom ekra b'yado afkid ruchi ואת אישן ואירה, ועם רוחי גביעתי. Adonai li v'lo ira. For those of you who still have Mishkan Tefillah in your little mitts, and you still are turned to page 625, if you take a gander at the last two lines, if not, I will just read it to you. We take it for granted that we're just singing these lovely lines, but the last two lines, which, by the way, Debbie Friedman set to music as a whole independent piece, but into your hands I entrust my spirit. When I sleep and when I awake, and with my spirit, my body also. Adonai is with me, and I shall not fear. Shabbat shalom. Please, everyone go enjoy the oneg.